Stop recording. Stop recording. Button.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into my video. I'd like to first of all give the reasons why I'm making this video. It's partly to get my message out there and partly as a compliment to another video which I seriously hope and pray that I don't have to make. I'll give you the reasons why later on in this video. To start off with, I'll introduce myself. The name's Simon. I'm from March in Cambridgeshire. I absolutely I'm really passionate about wild swimming and open water swimming. Now, for those who don't know what that is, it's basically swimming in lakes, rivers, the sea, ponds if they're deep enough, and that sort of swimming. The indoor swimming you can keep. I'm not over keen on that. I'm not keen on that at all, to be honest. Now, the reason that wild swimming and open water swimming is so important to me is unfortunately the same reason that makes it difficult to a bit more difficult to do, which is, as you might be able to tell from the probably diabolical videoing going on, that I'm actually totally blind. No, that is not some sort of double meaning. It's not some sort of wind up. I am actually totally blind. Now, the reasons I absolutely love and I'm so passionate about wild swimming and open water swimming is because, you know, accessing the outdoors and the countryside is very difficult for a totally blind person, even more so for one with no sense of direction on land, like myself. Also, it's something that gets me closer to nature and wildlife, which, again, isn't always easy for a totally blind person. But quite honestly, the main reasons are the fact that it gives me such a sense of freedom and liberation when I'm in the open water, when I can just swim and, you know, swim a good distance. And, you know, because, of course, unlike on land, there's nothing to fall off. A lot less to sort of run into. And so, you know, it's almost as good as... And I can move in 3 dimensions because I can, you know, dive under for a bit. So I can actually move in 3 dimensions. I mean, it's... Some people have tried to say, is it like sort of a bird flying? And I would say that's a reasonably good description. It really does give you that freedom. And especially for myself as a totally blind person, it's almost as good as being able to sort of put the blindness aside. And, I mean, even if I said all this sort of 1,000 times, it really wouldn't get across to a lot of people how wonderfully liberating, how wonderfully super therapeutic that is for me. Also, for reasons I don't want to go into here, because it would just make this video a very, very long one and have a lot of irrelevant stuff. You know, a few things have... a lot of things have gone wrong for me in life, and as a result of that, I had depression, and the wild swimming has just so helped with that. You know, at one time I almost became an alcoholic, and it's being able to wild swim more has really sort of cured me of that. Without any need for pills, without any need for any of that rehab or drying out or counselling stuff. You know, it's all been down to being able to do open water swimming and wild swimming. Of course, the problem is that being totally blind, that's not as easy as it is for able-bodied people, because getting to places is very, very difficult, because the vast majority of wild swimming places are not really you know, the type you can very easily ask a cab driver to drop you off at or pick you up from. So getting to them isn't always easy. In fact, it's very difficult. Not only that, but if you're having to carry around things like cab readies, you know, sometimes train tickets for longer journeys, phone to call your cab afterwards or whatever, you know, there's very often nowhere safe and secure to leave all of that sort of stuff while you're having your good swim. And of course the other thing is a fair amount of places that do open water swimming, rather than just being able to swim anywhere, you have to stick to a particular course in some lakes that I've been to, which, because they've not got a tactile sort of line, they're just sort of like buoys placed every now and again to sort of mark out the course and the turns in the course. Great if you can see them, but not so great if you can't. And of course, other venues, you've got a, you know, so unfortunately I need a guide for those venues. Other venues, I you know, might need a guide to watch out for other users, such as boats or anglers. You know, as yet, I've unfortunately not found a venue that I can A, get to relatively easily, and B, actually swim at independently. Now, these two, all these things unfortunately mean that I don't get to wild swim and open water swim anything like as much as I would like to do, because it's also very good exercise as well for me, an exercise that I love doing, and again, being totally blind, you know, getting out and keeping fit and all that is more difficult than it is for other people as well. So, I mean, yes, there are things like the Outdoor Swimming Society and Wild Swimming Facebook pages, which, if they were accessible, I could get the message out there that way. But unfortunately, Facebook is very far from the most accessible medium for a totally blind person. So unfortunately, I can't get the message out there that way, which is a heck of a nuisance, because I really think that if I could, I would get a lot more open water and wild swimming on a local level. Because, as I said, the other reason for making this video is an accompaniment to one I hope I don't have to make, which is about a certain organisation, which I won't name here, that last year, which is 2017 for the record, I went on 2 really lovely wild swimming weekends with them. Now, it was not a disaster fest. Everything worked out absolutely fine. There were no problems at all. You know, it was really great, and it got me the chance to do some absolutely lovely swims. You know, again, I can't put into words really how really brilliant those weekends were. Unfortunately, this year has been a somewhat different story. Basically, this organisation, which, if I have to make the other video, I will name, but this organisation, for some reason, had a complete change of attitude. You know, rather than the very keen can-do attitude they had last year, they just seem to just want to find reasons for not taking me this year. And the same is going to apply to next year as well. Quite honestly, after their can-do attitude of last year and the way things worked out brilliantly, quite honestly, this has come as, well, a bitter blow doesn't even come closer to it. Doesn't do it justice at all. metaphorically, the best way I can think of describing it is it's come as a real karate kick in the private parts, quite honestly. You know, I've felt very hurt by this, so that's why. I mean, I'm hoping that, you know, because I've stood up for myself, their attitude will improve and I won't have to make the other video. Or alternatively, that this video will reap some good results and that I'll get access to hopefully a fair bit more local open water swimming, which means that, you know, I won't be quite so upset about the loss of these other swimming trips, and I can, you know, just say, well, you know, I've got a lot more locally now, so blow 'em. That's what I'm really hoping for this, is the main purpose of making this video, because I really seriously don't want to have to make the other one, because, you know, well, there are loads of reasons I don't want to make it, but mainly because, you know, I'm really a good, you know, forgiving Christian person. But, you know, if things don't improve with this organisation and things don't improve with me getting open water swimming on a local level either, I'll probably get left with no real option, because, you know, to do nothing means that I lose out anyway. Whereas, you know, making the other video will at least mean that people know that that organisation have got a more discriminatory and nasty side to them. But like I said, I don't really want to do that. And of course, this video is because I'm well aware that if I do have to make that other video, there are going to be some people who, you know, because they might not exactly grasp my situation, are going to say, oh, that bloke is so unreasonable. Well, no, I don't think I am. Because, you know, if anyone thinks that this, you know, if anyone thinks that either by, you know, from this video, or if, God forbid, I do have to make the other one, then before you go thinking, oh, you know, that I'm so unreasonable, I'd like you to think for a minute how you would feel. You know, if it was you that, you know, really loved this thing, it was, you know, a main way of getting out and about, getting some real freedom and liberation, and also the cure for depression it's been. And if someone one year took you on trips and then went and snatched it away from you the next year, I mean, how would you feel? Would you not feel unreasonable? Would you not feel like being a little bit unreasonable about that? Anyway, that is more for the other video. So for the moment, I think I've got across the point of why I'm so passionate about open water and wild swimming, why it is so important to me, why it is such a major part of my life. Because to be honest, without it, I don't think I would actually be here talking to you today. And I'm not saying that to just try and be over dramatic. I honestly don't think I would be here talking to you all on this video. Because it really has been the wild swimming that has saved my life on occasions, I think. And, you know, being able to do it more would just improve matters absolutely no end. So, yeah, I would like to end by saying, if anyone can, you know, please do share this video, especially if anyone's willing to share it with things like the Outdoor Swimming Society Facebook pages and the Wild Swimming relevant Facebook pages for the East of England area, because I can't access them. You know, please do, because it is going to help get the message out there. It's hopefully going to get me a lot more local open water swimming, and like I said, then it will mean that, you know, I will be able to put the issues I've had with this organisation behind me, because I won't need them. You know, going on their trips won't be as important to me because I'll have more local open water swimming as it is, you know, at the moment. So, yeah, I think that's enough from me for now. So, thank you all for bearing with me. And I guess that's it.